Hello and welcome to another edition of Reality NSFW's coverage of Big Brother Canada 10. I'm your host, Bobby Goodsby, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Brent Wolgamott. Brent, how are you?
Bobby, thank God you're back. I mean, I know I love listening to myself talk, but my God, last week was something else when you weren't here and I had to do it all by my lonesome with the people in the chat room. And it was something else. I don't think I ever want to do that again. So, if you can make it next time, that'd be good. Because even I love hearing myself talk, but that was a bit much. Yeah.
Oh man, I watched it back and I was like, oh Brent, I'm so sorry I'm not there. I wish I could be of help. I'd be someone to bounce stuff off of.
Yeah, I needed to take a break. I needed to take a breath here and there, and I just couldn't because I'm the only one talking. So
hey,
yeah,
you are a machine. I could have never done it, so I'm proud of you. I apologize to everyone out there. I had a 1-week hiatus with the work schedule, but I am back and I'm good to go for the rest of the season. So let's get into it. Let's talk about hashtag Gummygate of 2022. Wow, what a week we have had.
dude, I don't even know how this happened. I think I have to give credit to Kevin and Helena for fighting so hard to stay off the block. I think other people might have just given up on it and said, we did all we could do. Betty won the veto. Summer's safe. One of us has to go up. Once they found out about the secret power, he's probably not going to put up Gino or JC Lynn. So it's probably going to be one of us. But I think in their effort, like Kevin was trying to make sure it was JC Lynn, but also he was sort of fine if it was Helena. Helena was trying to make sure it was JC Lynn. But she was sort of fine just staying off the block totally. JC Lynn obviously wanted it to be Kevin. And I think that's where things got a little messy because I think Kevin and Helena played it right in that they knew how to work Marty. Helena in particular, I feel like is really good at working Marty. They knew not to direct Marty specifically on what they wanted him to do, i.e. put up JC Lynn. They were like, here's why I shouldn't go up. Here's why I'm loyal to you. Here's what I'll do for you. I'll vote Josh out. You saw Kevin in the episode saying, I'll go out there. I'll tell everybody right now, you're my number one. I'll vote Josh out. Sorry, Josh, it's your time to go. I'll do whatever it takes. And I think that was the right play. Jace, on the other hand, was a little more adamant. You didn't see it as much in this episode, but was very adamant about Kevin going on the block. Kevin needs to go on the block.
Yeah.
And also that task. If it really, really it should have fucked Kevin some because that task really exposed how much Josh and Kevin were close, that they were tight, really tight. Like real tea, you guys, real tea. I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here real quick, but I don't know if you saw earlier today, Gino is looking hot and Josh is like, Gino, you're looking really hot. And he's like, thanks. Well, you look hot too. And he's like, oh, thanks. Like they're both like admiring each other. There's one straight boy, one gay boy. And Josh is like, only one more day for us in here since we're both on the block for you to kiss me. And I'm like, dude, Josh is so in heat right now. The boy is in heat. I'm telling you. And that is part of the tea here that I swear he's got a crush on Kevin. I know he's got a boy at home, but my thing is like, gay men do not see sex and monogamy the same way that straight people do. So it is my contention that I think that Josh has a little bit of a crush on Kevin and that he was really bawling his eyes out when he saw Kevin was going to leave because he has a little crush on him. And then that exposed how close they were to Marty, and it really should have backfired. It really should have.
It should have.
Yeah, it should have. And I give credit to Kevin and Helena for fighting as hard as they did to stay off the block, even sowing a little bit of confusion and also knowing how to play Marty. They didn't specifically push for Jace to go up on the block, but they affirmed their loyalty to Marty, and that made Marty feel really guilty. On the other hand, Jace was pushing for Kevin to go up on the block, causing, even though there wasn't really any angst with Marty once Marty found out about the failed secret veto that Jace didn't use to backdoor him last week, that it did create a little bit of animosity with him because he doesn't like being directed. So Marty said, fuck it. I don't know what to do. Let's just put 3 gummy bears into a can, and one of them is going to be red. 2 of them are going to be yellow. Gino, based on our shared history, you don't have to be a part of this if you don't want to. It's at that point in time where Gino should have said, as we all know, yeah, thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I don't want to be a part of this. Sorry, I just think I'm too big of a target. I'll get voted out for sure. No, that's what he should have said. But his pride got in the way, dude. His fucking pride got in the way. Now I will say, Marty kind of set him up. I heard this on the Terran update. I heard this on the Terran update with him on, and I sort of poo-pooed it. But then after I watched the episode back and I watched the feeds back, I'm like, okay, I kind of agree, because they said that Marty kind of set Gino up to be like, well, like, the way he said it was like he knew that Gino was going to be forced into putting a gummy bear into the can, and I didn't think that was true. But then upon watching the episode, you can clearly see Marty has a fourth bear already in his hand, ready to stick in the bowl. He's just waiting for Gino to give him the okay. So it does seem to me that Marty was kind of giving him the soft sell there, like trying to get Gino to just say, yeah, put my thing in there. But on the other hand, Gino should have known I'm a massive target in this game. There's absolutely no way that I can go on the block. Sorry, guys. I did my piece this week. I protected you last week. You guys are gonna have to handle this one. Helena, you've never been on the block before. We've all been on the block. Like, somebody has to do it besides me. That's what he should have said. But his pride wouldn't let him do it, and I think it was all happening. I think Jace also, like, it sort of happened before they realized what happened. Like, all of a sudden, Gino volunteers, an extra bear goes in the can, then they're all drawing, and before Jace can even think about it, he's got the red gummy bear. And it's like, oh my God, what happened? How did this happen? And then, Kevin's trying to contain his glee because he's so happy he didn't draw the red gummy bear, and he's also amazed that Gino did in the Big Brother. Like, make no mistake, you guys, make no mistake. Gino made a mistake. Pride goeth before a fall. The Big Brother gods saw his stupidity, and they have struck him down, honey. They have struck him down. They saw it, and they said, no, sir. We will not let you. Like, because easily, Helena could have drawn the red gummy bear. Jace could have drawn the red gummy bear. Kevin could have. But no, of course, Gino had to draw the red gummy bear. I tweeted this out. I'm like, of course he draws the red gummy bear. And here we are.
So the kick your feet up curse is alive and well in this house, as we've seen. It is 100% a thing now. I am convinced of it. When Marty says kick your feet up, you better watch out. You have a target on your back. You are going home. So it was so funny because I was watching the episode last week from home, and I was so mad because it's like, oh man, what an episode I missed out on podcasting about. Like, I was just so bummed that the whole secret veto thing, I missed out on podcasting about all of it. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't because I thought it was a great twist. I wanted to bash this twist with a hammer. I hated this twist. I thought it was the dumbest thing I had ever heard of, because in no world was this a good deal for JC Lynn. Like, in no way was she going to win in this situation. Not only did she have to go through about 50 hurdles to get that secret power.
God.
That was
God.
It just kept going. I was like, okay. And I was just like, it blew my mind. She solves the puzzle with 5 seconds. Like, she's done all these hurdles to get it. And then, it's you can use the secret veto on someone, but only this week. Like, of all weeks that she needs it, it's the next week. Like, I thought for sure in my head, it's like, okay, it's going to be like a 2, maybe 3 week thing. Like, there's no way they would put this twist in the house only for 1 week. And it just blew my mind. So I didn't get to talk about it last week, so I wanted to get my little piece out there. But going into this week, watching this episode, it's like, thank you, Big Brother gods, because you shined down on me with an even better episode to talk about. Gummygate and just Gino. You had the opportunity right there where you could have said, no, listen, you told me to kick my feet up. You told me that you wouldn't do this. I know that I want to be a team player, but I did my part last week. I did everything I needed to do to keep everyone in this group safe. I think I've proven myself. One of you guys needs to take the fall this time and let us show our loyalty to you like you did to me. That's what all he had to say. And Marty would have been like, oh, 100%.
And a better player could have done that. A better player could have
100%.
done that. Yes.
But no,
but
you're
Gino's
right.
not a better player. Yeah.
Literally, he would have been fine with anyone else getting this, obviously, because it would have been him going up if not. But I think anyone else stays in this situation, and there's a very good chance Josh is walking out the door, regardless if anyone else is there. So
yeah, I think even if JC Lynn goes on the block, I do think that Kevin and Helena probably keep JC Lynn and vote out Josh because they don't want both Marty and Gino in the house mad at them.
Yes.
So I think that's why that would have went that way. But so again, but for Gino to be on the block. So I see Mary's in the chat, and Mary seems to be a big proponent of keeping Gino based on her perceived layout of the house. I understand that argument. And we can talk about it more later, but I am a big proponent of you have to evict Gino here. Like, you have to evict Gino here. This is the path to win. Like, girl, I know you can position yourself as much as you can position yourself, but eventually you've got to draw a line in the sand and say, no, sir, no further. And this is the point in time where they have to draw the line. They must evict Gino here. They must evict Marty in the triple coming up. It'll be a final five, which is the one we all want, of Josh, Betty, Summer, Helena, Kevin. Like, that's the final five we deserve, bitch. So
it'll be
I
fantastic.
need it to happen.
Now, and I'm actually really bummed for Gino because I'm a little biased. I have both Gino and Josh in my fantasy draft, so I'm losing someone regardless. But I think that this is literally the perfect situation that could happen to Josh. Like, literally any other situation, Josh probably goes home. He got screwed over that Summer was saved by Canada. He got screwed over that Betty decides to wake up and win a competition. And hey, kudos to her. 0.44 seconds
kudos
off.
to her.
What an amazing is that closest we've ever seen in that competition? I don't know, but
I want to say yes.
Close.
And I also just want to give her total props for understanding it's a goddamn TV show. I don't know if she does this on purpose. I hope she does. But like, she's like yelling at Marty, I'm not going home, Marty. And she was literally one step away from give me that key, bitch. Like, it was really, really good. Good TV. Thank you, Betty. We love you. We stand Betty. Honestly, if Betty gets to the end, like, I want Kevin to win because I think he's played the best game.
Yeah.
But if Betty gets to the end, like, she's such a soul after my own heart. Like, she'll get into a fight with anybody. I'll get into a fight with anybody if they piss me off. So I love Betty. I live for her right now. So she's quickly climbing my list of favorites.
Yeah, and like I said, props to Betty, but Josh literally had everything going wrong. Betty not winning the HOH competition, him coming in third, then Betty winning the power of veto, then Summer getting saved by Canada. He literally needed one thing to go right, and it actually happened. So, I mean, I couldn't believe the luck that Josh had in this situation. The amount of bad luck and then the amount of luck.
Yeah, and also, I'm a little bummed for Gino in that, I mean, I know he's making a terrible move, and he deserves to get the full Marcellus treatment for it, slapped on the back of the head with the note card and everything. Like, that, he deserves it. But I really was a big supporter of his move to evict Kyle right before the jury. I know a lot of people were not behind that. I was behind that. I felt like it integrated Gino back into the house where otherwise he had not been. Remember, it was like a 9-2 vote, and Gino and Jace were on the outside. And he did a good job of that. And he evicted Kyle, and he sort of faded back into the background, and nobody's been coming for the showmans. And I wanted to see this play out because, again, if anybody else goes on the block here, Gino's going into the triple eviction with both him and Jace ready to play and Marty still in the house.
Yep.
Like, that's key for him. And everything was set up. Even though Gino made a few mistakes, everything was set up for Gino to really, really make a run at the end here. And I kind of wanted to see if he could, even though he's like, literally he's dull as a dishwater and has no personality. He's still pretty, and he at least tries in the competitions, even though he can't spell worth shit. So it would have been fun. It would have been an interesting test case to see, was that a good move or was it not? But it looks like we're not going to be able to see it because although they were waffling a little bit yesterday, spoiler, Kevin and Helena, I don't see them waffling now. I think they're gonna evict Gino. Kevin knows he has to do it. He has to.
They've read the tea leaves. They understand what's in front of them. They They possibly know that there's got to be a triple coming. There's always a triple in Canada. So if a triple is coming, and this is generally about the time they do it, then
they do it right now. Yeah.
They've got to understand that this is putting them in the best position where the only person they have to beat in the entire house is JC Lynn going into this double. So if they do that, they're golden. And so there was one other thing I wanted to say was, as far as Gino, we will get into it here in a bit. But the one thing I do respect about Gino is we saw when Kevin was pulling that prank on everyone, Gino went to the diary room, was like, "Hey, is Kevin okay? I'm worried about him." Like he is a good guy. Like you can just tell he's, just seems a very genuine guy. But yes, he's not the best game player. Like, don't get me wrong, physical beast, but mental and just really, I don't think he has the cutthroat ability. Like we saw the most cutthroat he'll be, and that's when he got rid of Kyle. But he did that to really benefit himself. And it was, I agree with you. I think it was a great move. But Gino, it's definitely going to be your time to go, buddy. And I think they have to do it. I think they have to pull the trigger now.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm not even sure what else we want to talk about, but behind the vicinity of this all. Let's talk. Well, we haven't talked about, first of all, Summer safe. Let's celebrate that. That caused all of this to happen. This doesn't happen without that. Summer would have been the automatic replacement, no matter who won the veto. Unless
thank you, Canada.
Yeah, that was amazing. I still don't know exactly how that happened, but I'm not asking questions. I'm just happy that she won safety for the week. It definitely screwed up Marty's plans. I love it that it caused Jace to really be pissy for a few days. She was very pissy that Summer, her nemesis / frenemy, won safety from Canada, because of course Jace has been talking smack about Summer because she always feels like Summer's trying to take her man, when in reality her man is just looking the other direction because he likes Summer a little bit more than he likes Jace sometimes. I'm just saying. To me, Summer and Gino have way more chemistry than Gino and Jace, but that's just me looking in from the outside. I don't know about the rest of y'all. That's how I see it anyway. So, but, I'm just saying, when I say chemistry, it's just the chemistry, the electricity that's between the two of them. I know for a heartbeat that if Gino didn't go home this week, I know that Summer would put him on the block. I know she would have if she had won HOH this previous week. She'd have put Gino on the block for nominating her. You can still evict somebody and still be into them. And I swear their chemistry together, man, it's electric. I love Summer and Gino together. So we'll see what happens after the season. But I swear that they got the real chemistry.
And I want to pull this up. So Mary Duda says, also a little pissed at Taryn because I surprised he don't see how dangerous it is for Kevin and Helena to evict Gino, whereby evicting Josh, they are safe and making it to the final five. I see where you're coming from. I really do. I think, though, for their own games, they have to look at who's been winning these competitions. It's been Marty and Gino basically back and forth the entire season. Marty and Gino know this. So as much as I understand where you're coming from, I still think they're in a position where they only have to beat one person, and it's JC Lynn, who's won, I think, one competition herself. And so I think that they have the best odds going that route. Josh is going to keep them safe, in my opinion. The only question mark are Summer and Betty, but I really think that they have bigger fish to fry in taking out JC Lynn and Marty. They're going to go after those two above anyone else.
So what Mary is trying to say is that if they vote to evict Josh and had never made any, because Kevin and Helena have obviously talked with Betty and Summer now, and they've made some plans. But if they've never done that before, and they just said, look, we're going to evict Josh here, Josh goes home. And that way, if Gino and JC Lynn win HOH, they're going to nominate some combination of Summer, Betty, and a third nominee. And if same thing for Gino and her Gino and Jace would do the same thing. Obviously, they nominate Summer, Betty, and some combination of the other for the third nominee. And Summer and Betty would also nominate the reverse. They would nominate Marty, JC Lynn, and Gino. Mm-hmm. So no matter what happens, Kevin and Helena would stay off the block. I get that, but girl, you have to understand that only one person gets to the end and wins. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing when they're trying to be a little too cute by half by possibly keeping Gino here. You have to take a swing at him now. If you don't, he could literally comp out. Him and Marty could both comp out.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong and you leave them in past, because remember, 3 people are going home. It's triple eviction. 3 people are going home in one night, and all of a sudden you're going to go from 8 to 5. Like, you do not want both those guys in the house at the final 5. Like, at that point, you might as well just hand them the money. So like maybe if Kevin had his druthers, I just feel like this, you can't pass this opportunity up. If him and Helena and Josh, because Josh is with them, make no mistake. If him, Helena, and Josh can't beat Summer and Betty in a final 5, 3-on-2, then oh well, it's just not your time.
The only thing in this situation that worries me is, let's say Betty wins HOH for some ungodly reason, right?
Okay.
She wins HOH. Then Marty or JC Lynn win the power of veto. Who do we think is in that spot, that possible second evicted spot?
I think Helena.
Helena?
I think it'd be Helena.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's where I understand that side of the argument, because otherwise, if you don't vote him out, you're basically safe all the way around. So I understand that, but you basically have to beat JC Lynn, and then you just got to make sure one of the two doesn't win veto. That's all you have to do. And it's easier said than done, for sure. But I don't know. I think you got to take your shot here, especially when Marty and Gino have won basically all the competitions.
I think Kevin even realizes that he's putting Helena's game in a little bit of danger here by making this move. But Helena understands the risks and says, you know what? Now's the time we have to make a stand. Eventually in life and in competitions, you have to make a stand and say, you know what? I'm going to make my stand here, whether I win or lose. This is the time where I'm going to draw the line. Helena and Kevin have drawn it. They're going to evict Gino tomorrow, and we're going to see the ramifications of that on the triple eviction. I mean, it is possible that I don't think Kevin would go home in the triple. I really don't. I do think that Helena could go home, but I think that they still have to make the play here. They still have to make the play. It's too golden of an opportunity. If you leave Gino in the game, I know that it's possible that Betty and Summer would nominate Marty and Gino and Jace, and that's all great. But what about the possibility that Gino wins HOH? Do you think he's just going to go after Marty? I don't think he necessarily would. I'm not sure what he would do in this instant. And also, Gino's been saying on the feeds that he would put up maybe Kevin, maybe Marty. So in a triple eviction, maybe he's putting up Kevin anyway. So I don't know, Mary, if leaving Gino in the game is necessarily gaining anything from Gino. I think Gino might still put up Kevin in the triple eviction if he won HOH and you kept him. So I think it's just too cute. I think you got to vote Gino out and just play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been thinking about this over the last few days, and everyone has been giving Kevin all the praise, and not saying Helena hasn't gotten her praise, but I definitely don't feel like it's as much as Kevin. And now, who do I personally want to win? I think Kevin has played the best game, but Helena is right there.
Helena's amazing. I love Helena. But I agree with what Mary said in the chat. She says, I just wish that Kevin would let Helena vote with Jace so that she has a little bit of protection. I concur. That is the key. That's the play here. That's the play. They need to split their votes so they don't look like a pair. They need to split their votes. One of them vote with Summer and Betty. The other one vote with Jace. So it comes back a 3-2 vote. And in the confusion, maybe Jace doesn't know who to put. Like, let's say Jace wins HOH. That could happen. In the confusion, she doesn't know whose line. What the hell happened here? She still doesn't know whose line about who. Maybe she still puts up Marty. Like, we just don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I feel like the best play is to split their votes, but I don't think they're going to do that. I'm hoping in the 24 hours until eviction that maybe Kevin realizes that's the play here. They need to split their votes, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And so just what I was going to say was, we haven't seen a duo. We've seen an alliance like the Pretty Boys. Not since the Pretty Boys, really. We haven't seen a duo be both so good at this game and have performed so well. I agree in the chat where Nowhere Man says Kevin is just more entertaining, but still an amazing player. I do agree. I think Kevin's the more popping on the screen player to the audience. But if they got down to the final two, honestly, I think it's a toss up of who could win. I really think that both of these two have played an amazing game.
Kevin
has more love from the house.
Yeah, listening to the current jury, Kevin has a lot more love from the people that are in the jury right now. So, and from the people that are in the house, like Betty's not feeling Helena, Summer ain't feeling Helena. So I don't know who is feeling Helena right now besides Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. If to me, Helena's gonna need to win an HOH.
Yes,
and I think you know, I don't know how she wins. I'm like, who does Helena win against? I thought that people wouldn't vote for Marty, but actually after listening to the jury now, I think people would totally vote for Marty. So there's no way they can take Marty to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Helena, I think she needs to get to the end maybe with Betty and just explain her game a lot better than Betty. Or maybe Summer. Maybe she gets to the end with Summer. I don't think she can win against Kevin. I really don't.
Man. I think
she has a shot, but I don't think this jury would, like, if they're both there. And I think Kevin's a very good speaker in the final two.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna let Helena walk all over him.
I think, and for Helena to really get the respect of the jury that she deserves, she needs Kevin in that house, in the jury house. She needs him to be singing her praises, and I honestly think she could beat pretty much anyone in the house besides Kevin. But she needs
really an HOH.
Need to work on her.
This
HOH
jury,
social game.
I was talking about this with Scally on Twitter. Like, this jury, much as we hate it, it prides itself on rewarding people who are good at comps. And I hate that, but that's the way modern juries think in Big Brother. And Helena's going to need to win an HOH in order to show people, hey, I'm here to play. I'm not here to not get any blood on my hands. Let me get some blood on my hands and show you what I can do. If she could win this triple eviction, that would be everything. That would be so great.
I'm blanking. Has Kevin won an HOH? I cannot remember. He won a veto. I know that. But
he won a veto. Yeah,
he
won a veto.
So they have equal amount of competition wins. So I mean, that's
kind of
bogus for them to be like.
I know. It's a little chauvinistic. Yeah. I just think I think she needs an HOH win. I think he does too, but I think that she definitely does.
Yeah. All right. One thing I do want to talk to you about, and I know it's not the main thing of our entire show, but I do want to bring up Kevin's little challenge from Marsha the Moose.
Yeah.
I thought this was fantastic. Now, I've never been the biggest Marsha the Moose person. Oh, I know everyone's going to hate me now because I didn't love a moose talking to people from the wall. I always thought it was a little gimmicky, a little cheesy. But I was very happy to see Marsha the Moose back because I was like, wow, this is like old school right now. We haven't seen this in a while. And that mission completely sold me. I might be the biggest Marsha the Moose fan now because I loved that little thing that he had to do, that little, I don't even know what to call it, that little gimmick he had to run. Because I think he played it so well and I found it so entertaining. The fact that he had Josh bawling his eyes out, saying he will evict before Kevin because he can't allow Kevin to do that. Just everyone in the house. I don't think Summer bought it. I think Summer knew something was up. But
yeah,
everyone else was like at the edge of their seat. You see how close Gino gets to Kevin in the pantry room where he just literally doesn't even give him a foot of space. You can tell Kevin wanted to bust up laughing right in that moment because Gino's just trying to protect Kevin from himself. And he's like thinking to himself, dude, I'm doing this for us.
Dude, I mean, like, I know you guys saw it on the feeds. That was so homoerotic. Like when Gino was standing there and he was like, he had his hands on Kevin's shoulders and Gino's wearing those short shorts. So it looks like he's not wearing pants and he's just got that muscle shirt on and he's standing there in the pantry and Kevin, like, and he's between Kevin's crotch and he's like looking at him like this and their heads are like, yeah, I'm sorry.
I was like, Gino's going in for the goodbye kiss or something, man. Like
that's what it looked like to me. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was very, very, the task was very, very fun. And I love Kevin's attitude because this is the attitude I would have if I ever played one of these shows. You know what? It could endanger my game a little bit, but you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to fucking go for it. How many times do you get to play Big Brother Canada? Maybe I win, maybe I lose. Who the fuck knows? But I'm going to go for it and try to make some good TV and like really, really have a blast playing this amazing game. this once in a lifetime experience for most people, unless your name is like a Wong. Like, I mean, come on, this is really, really cool. So yeah, let's do that. And he did it, and it was a really, really excellent performance. I think he did, given that he had 100 minutes, I think he did a pretty good job. He also had a really good excuse with that little voicemail from the competition. Like think if it's possible that Kevin doesn't get spun on the wheel, maybe he has to sit this one out and they don't play his voicemail. So, you know, maybe that happens, but he was very lucky he got his voicemail played so he could use that as an excuse about here I've been thinking about what matters and I need to go home. You guys are amazing. I love you. If I've enjoyed this experience, bye. Like that kind of thing. And Kevin's just a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun in the diary room too.
I did enjoy Marsha going like, oh yeah, you have 100 minutes. You know what that is, right? Not 125. Maybe ask Betty. Betty would know.
Yeah, that was very funny. That was very meta. Yeah, that was very good.
And then also you see Marty blocking the door to not let Kevin out. Like just everything about this. Like I didn't know how he was going to play it either. I was like, how's he going to go about doing this? But watching him just packing his bag, basically rushing out there so people couldn't really stop and think about it. It was so in your face. Like it's going to happen now. I thought that was so good. So great. But yeah, no, I thought we'd be remiss to not at least talk about it. Blinking on what the other thing was. Oh, I know what it was. We got to cut to commercial break. So give us 1 second, guys. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed.
0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. That's only 140 calories per serving.
It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and my favorite, maple waffle. Now, Magic Spoon recently brought back their 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Thank goodness. But they're back permanently. And when these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Now, I'm here to let you know you can get them again or try them for the first time. Why? Because they are delicious and indulgent.
Johnny, Magic Spoon has so many great flavors that I really enjoy, and even my kids enjoy them. We have the cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter. All these are really great combinations. They enjoy waking up in the morning and getting some Magic Spoon right off to start their day great before they head off to school. I think everybody listening should give Magic Spoon a try, or if you've tried them already, it's time to reorder. Let's get you some more Magic Spoon and get your day started right.
Hey, when I finish a podcast late at night, the first thing I'm thinking is not sleep. It's let me grab a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon before I go to bed.
So go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this podcast.
All right, guys, we are back. If you have the opportunity and you're on YouTube right now, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out and helps us to continue to bring that great NSFW coverage to you each and every week right here. Now, I do want to say one thing before we get started. This is a non-spoiler for Survivor, but I have to go back a couple weeks. I said here on the stream, and I listened to another podcast that was saying all this other stuff that all these other places said it. I said that voice was not Tori's with the little the immunity idol. So I want to say I called it.
God.
I called it.
Okay.
It's been
Fabulous.
because I haven't been here.
Yes. Fabulous.
All right. So besides that, I had to get that off my chest. I've been waiting 2 weeks for that. All right. So let's get into some of the questions that you guys have for us. First off, we've got Family Guy saying, this has got to be the best BB Can season. No? Brent, what's your take on that?
I mean, it hasn't had the drama yet that Big Brother Canada 5 had, nor the drama that Big Brother Canada 3 had. So, I mean, I love Big Brother Canada 3. I know the twists bug people, but I think it was a fantastic season. Also, Big Brother Canada 2 also had some drama. So this season has had some drama, but it's got to really stick the landing. Like I can't make the judgment on how it is. It's very fluid season. Reminds me of Big Brother Canada 6, and that's a good season too. Again, I'm not so fond of the winner of Big Brother Canada 6, but other people love her, and that's great, and that's wonderful. I love the final two. They were very worthy final two. You know, I can't answer this question yet. It's been a very, very fun season, though, and a good palate cleanser off of a little lackluster Big Brother US, in my opinion.
I will say this: Big Brother Canada 2 and Big Brother Canada 5 are still my favorites in my opinion. I think that nothing surpasses those two just yet, but this is right there. This is right there. I will say this. I'm shocked that Big Brother Canada 3 is your favorite. It's the only season in Big Brother history I couldn't finish. I literally could not finish. I bounced out a couple weeks early, but I even finished Big Brother 19 over that. So let's just say this. I think that 2 and 5 are my favorites, but this one is right up there with the rest. All right, so next we got.
So
go ahead.
Before you answer, sorry, I was going to add. The reason I like, so I was a Sarah and Brittany stan. So
well, that makes sense.
When Brittany won the so that was the first year they did the triple eviction. Brittany won the triple, and obviously Brittany and Sarah won the have not power from the audience. And, I was just like totally fine with it because I hated Bruno so much. So, whatever. It's all good.
I thought that
Bruno played a really good game.
That's why I quit the season, because I felt like it was such a almost production interference gift to them that I was like, this is almost rigged. I didn't think it was rigged, but I really was like, this is the closest I've felt to it.
I'd have to go back and watch this, but to my knowledge, they showed us they showed us the Big Brother Canada 3 power, the have not power before the season even started. Mm-hmm. It was in the room. They showed it to us, and they hadn't shown it to us previously. So, and you knew it was going to happen at the final 8, final 7. That's usually where the final power of the season happens, somewhere in that area. And that's when it happened. And also, I think they said something about voting for have-nots before the HOH for that week was crowned. Again, I'd have to go back and double check.
Same. I can't remember.
I think they knew they were having voting for the have-not power before Ashley even won HOH for that week. So, Brittany and Sarah could have won the HOH, and maybe they don't even need the have-not power. It just, I feel like it wasn't a terrible season. And people, think that the twists were made for Brittany and Sarah. I just think it worked out that way. It kind of looked that way.
Yeah, and it totally could be the case. I honestly, that's just what I remember my feeling was back then. I don't remember.
The one thing that I absolutely hated, and this is if people want to come for season 3, I understand. So at the final 6, at the final 6, when they had the HOH competition, so after the have not power is used, Ashley is the outgoing HOH, but her nominations were totally overturned by the have not power. She couldn't even say who the replacement nominee was going to be. So Bruno and Zach end up on the block. Bruno's evicted. Ashley's outgoing HOH. And she can't compete in the next HOH. That was the one where I felt like they made a bad call. If you're going to take her nomination power away, you have to let her compete in the next HOH competition. The fact that Ashley couldn't compete in the next HOH competition really skewed the results, because it was the exact same competition that we saw tonight, where 5 of them are in the coffins. They're trying to time everything right. And of course, I can't remember what happened, but I think Peely got out, and then Sarah got out right after her, and then Godfrey got out, Zach got out, and then Godfrey got it right after him, allowing Brittany to win, or I can't remember who won. Maybe it was Sarah. I don't know. Point being that it really allowed them to skew the results. They should have let Ashley play. Anyway, we're getting off track, but yes,
we're going off the deep end.
That's the mistake they made. I'm sorry. I have my feelings on Big Brother Canada.
Well, that's
Sarah as the winner.
That's what happens here on SFW. Guess what? We have the freedom to talk about whatever we want, so we might go off the rails a little bit. And the fact that Godfrey hasn't been asked back is a travesty, besides for these stupid little, mannequin things. All right, so next, we got Mary, who said, would each of them cut each other at the final 3? How is the answer no for both of them?
Kevin wouldn't cut Hal because he knows he can beat her. Hal wouldn't cut Kevin because she's not that kind of girl and wants to go to the end with her final 2. So I think Kevin would cut Helena if he felt like he was going to lose to her, but he doesn't feel like he's going to lose to her. So I feel like that's why you're getting a no from both of them at this point.
I think Kev would cut anyone. He would cut his mom. He would cut his girlfriend if he had to.
And he said so. Yeah.
But I think he feels pretty comfortable in the position he's in. Next question, actually from Mary again. Is Josh the safest at the triple? How is the answer not yes? I can answer this one too. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I agree. I think that the answer is yes. I think Josh is the safest, but I also would say Kevin's the safest. I think it's equal parts Kevin, equal parts Josh, because I think Kevin is safe because they're going to go after Helena before they go after Kevin. And I think that Josh is safe because pretty much they want to get out either Marty and JC Lynn, or they want to get out Betty and Summer before Josh. I think Josh is like on the outskirts of that. I would say Kevin's the safest, actually. More and more to talk about it, I think Kevin's the safest.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's probably fair. But I'd have to really consider it for a second. I think it's very close. Very, very close.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. I don't see the go skip. Missing my other question. There it is. What scenario do you see Kevin getting evicted on the triple?
JC Lynn winning HOH. And then maybe at that point she feels like she's alone and she doesn't even put Marty up. Maybe she decides to blame Kevin and Helena. If Kevin and Helena are both on the block, depends on if Marty's there. I guess Marty would be by default be there because Summer, Betty, and Josh are not going to nominate Marty as a third nominee. And if he's on the block, I feel like he's getting voted out. So I think that's probably the point in time where if Marty, basically it's going to take a JC Lynn HOH and a Marty veto win. I feel like for Kevin to go home.
Yes,
and even
100%.
then, I think he's got an out. I think he's got an out, but we'll see.
It would literally be worst situation possible for this to happen, but it all starts with JC Lynn just cannot win HOH. JC Lynn doesn't win HOH. Kevin's fine, in my opinion. I think he's as good as fine. All right. So please explain to me why people love Summer. She seems so fake and performative. Now, listen, I've said this a couple weeks ago. I agree. I think she's a bit much for me, but some people are into that. Some people like the, loud in your face, here for TV moment. Like, I totally understand that because to an extent, Betty is that at the same time. She's more non-aware of her being so in your face with her emotions. And Summer is, and I think that's why people maybe were a little thrown off with it.
It's real. It's real life for Betty. Whereas with Summer, it feels like a show. I understand where you're coming from. I think some people really respond to that, and she knows how to give really good DR, and she's very sassy in the diary room, and she lets people have it. And she just has an authentic personality. She's a great smile. She's a great girl. She's very pretty. I just feel like that's why people love her. I don't feel like it's that deep. And
I don't think she takes the whole thing too seriously. Like she's just having fun and being her. So I can at least understand that. All right. So let's see here. Is there any other questions in here that you're seeing that I missed? Nothing I'm seeing. All right. So I guess that's it. So is there anything else you want to cover before we get out of here and we get through the triple eviction?
Looking forward to see if Helena gives Marty the heads up before, because I feel like he's going to be the most betrayed by Helena. Because even though they're thinking about maybe Kevin is waffling a little bit, that Helena is solid. Again, this is why Kevin and Helena should split their votes so that somebody has an ear with JC Lynn. If Helena splits her vote from Kevin and says Kevin jumped but I didn't, even though she already told JC Lynn that if Kevin flips I have to flip. What she should tell her tomorrow is Kevin flipped but I couldn't do it, and that'll keep her safe and that'll put Kevin in danger. But that's what Helena needs to do in the event that JC Lynn wins HOH. That's what she needs to do tomorrow. So
100%.
We'll see. Helena needs to figure that out, but Helena's a big girl.
So, I mean, as crazy and as many twists and turns this season has brought us, there's one thing, in my opinion, we don't need to happen, and that's a JC Lynn HOH tomorrow night for the triple. So please, Big Brother gods, keep our people safe because they deserve it and they're playing a hell of a game. And I'm very, very excited to watch Helena and Kevin just run to the end of this game. So it's going to be a fun end of the road. And guys, we're 2 weeks out. We're 2 weeks out from the end of this season. So it's going to be a fast couple weeks, and we're happy to bring you all this coverage. We will be here each and every Wednesday night for the next 2 weeks, bringing you all the coverage immediately following the Wednesday episode. You can follow me at Goodsby Bobby on Twitter. Hit me up if you have any questions, comments, or just want to talk. I'm always there to talk. And Brent, you can follow Brent at OneLuckyGay on Twitter. So yeah, that's about it. We're loving this season, guys, and we will be back next week to bring you whatever aftermath comes from all of this. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
And for more reality NSFW content, visit adfreensfw.com.